Hello everyone, welcome to Lever Guns 50. Today we have this 1887 rifle out here in 70-150. Now the history on this goes that back in about 1888, Winchester came out with a cartridge board with these big old bad cartridges on it, and these 70-150 cartridges on it. And so it's thought that the factory made one rifle in 70-150, and they said that they only rifled the last 6 inches of the barrel. However, in later years, some other guns have turned up in this caliber. One of them, the way I understand it, was a fully rifled barrel. So regardless of how it started out, we have one, and this is a fully rifled barrel. It's in 70 caliber, not 12 gauge. 12 gauge is 72 caliber. So this is a 12 gauge solid brass shotgun shell, neck down to 70 caliber. And it holds 230 grains of powder behind a 700 grain bullet, and about 220 grains of black powder behind a 900 grain bullet. So we're going to be shooting it with 777 equivalent to those loads, and we're also going to be using black powder, and we're also going to use one smokeless load, and that's going to be into a jug, about a 2.5 gallon jug of rotten eggs. And that's going to be for the final shot, and we're going to check it out and see what it does to those rotten eggs. That one's going to be going about 1,400 feet a second, the same as the 777 loads. And so what we're going to do is get this thing loaded up and do some shooting. With the hottest load of 777, it produces 103 foot-pounds of recoil. So it is a pretty hard kicking gun, but it's pretty light too. I think it's 9 pounds 6 ounces. So anyhow, we're going to get this bad boy loaded up and do some shooting. And we're going to shoot into some ballistic cloth first, and then we're going to shoot in through a log, and then we're going to shoot into those rotten eggs. So we're going to see what kind of muzzle blast this thing makes. We're going to get some long angle shots, let you guys see this fire breathing dragon. So and it was originally an 1887 shotgun, and we're going to leave all the information down below. And if you really want to check it out, if you check it out the Patreon page, we're going to have loading data plus all the companies that provided all the stuff for this, or you can email me. This is still the largest bore lever action rifle that was ever made. So even if only one of them was made, it's still the largest bore lever action rifle that I know of. And this reproduction is really well made, and have a little bit of fun with it and see how much power this thing can actually produce. So we got some ballistic cloth down here. We're going to load it up and shoot it. Okay. Doing 1,343 feet a second for a 900 grain bullet. We loaded it just a little bit lighter because we're using a harder bullet. And so let's look at what it did. You can see that big old hole. You can just stick your finger right inside there. And look at that. I mean, look at that. You can just stick your finger right in that hole. Still going. Still going. Hopefully you can see it right there. Still going. Let's turn the camera just a little bit. Still going. Still going. I believe, I'm not 100% sure because this pants moved. It looked like it went all the way through all of them, but it didn't quite hit that steel block because it doesn't have the damage of hitting the steel of the cement block. I didn't mean steel block, cement block. So it went all the way through all those pants and stopped. Must have stopped in that last pair of pants just before hitting that block. Look at the size of that bullet. Thing mushroomed out good, didn't it? Let's try another one. Take it like a man. Looks like 1,411 feet a second. It's blowing through here pretty good. I think it's probably going to go all the way through. We're going to go to the back and look at it. Didn't go through our block. It actually looks like it stopped right there. I've dumped water on it, so it may have expanded better than it did last time. Look at that big old bulge right there. Yep. Well, it expanded more uniform, but not necessarily any better. It's going just slightly, just a little bit faster. There's our 900 grain bullet. That's what the back of it looks like. Let's compare it with the other one. The other one expanded a lot better, but for whatever reason, I think it may have turned sideways going through it, but I don't know. Who knows? Stuff does what it does. Here's the hole going in. There's some destruction, and here's the hole coming out. Look at the size of that thing. Well, let's see if we can find the bullet. All right. So something hit right there. Went through that one, hit there. Still going into here. Still going. Got it right here. It was going straight too, see? This is the back of the bullet. Look at there. That one there mushroomed all the way around. Look at that bullet. It was going straight. Look at the size of those bullets. Look how they mushroomed out so pretty. You can see the rifling on them. Isn't that a pretty sight? Okay, we have that big old bad boy. We're going to load it into this gun right here. And we're going to shoot that jug of rotten eggs. This is like a 2.5 gallon jug of rotten eggs. Rotten eggs went everywhere. That was a smokeless powdered load. It's producing less pressure than the black powder load, but it still has plenty of power for that 900 grain bullet. After that bullet went through the jug, it also had no trouble tearing this small bush down. Oh, buddy. Okay, you open action like this right here, and you take the cartridges and stick them down here and push them into the tube magazine. Just like that. Action repeating rifle, that means when we lever it, it puts the cartridge into the chamber like this. I got this in 70 150 caliber. That's these big old huge cartridges here. And we're going to shoot them into all these water jugs and see if we can stop one of these big old 900 grain bullets pushed by 220 grains of 1FG black powder. So let's see what'll happen. Cartridge in there. We're going to run it home and then we're going to shoot it. Certainly has some recoil behind it. Let's see what it did. Looks like that bullet started getting toward the edge. Looks like it bounced off right there, maybe. Hit the pants. It's got to be all right here. Here is that big old bullet. So it went through all 8 jugs and hit those pants. That's some pretty good power out of that thing. How the action looks when it opens up and closes. Chamber. What she done? Big old cartridge, sticking it in here. Gonna shoot that right there log and see what it does. That 900 grain bullet just tears right through those 8-inch logs. It went through that 8-inch log plus the 2 gallons of water and the pants. They get corn syrup all over ourselves. This nasty barbecue sauce. Why'd they have to put corn syrup in it? Let's hit that metal gong while we're at it. Well, looks like it turned that water into steam. There goes the can down over there. Let's see what happened if we can. And underneath this can of water is 2024, and we're going to see if we can print that on to the bottom of this can. Well, looks like it turned that water into steam. There goes the can down over there. Let's see what happened if we can. You can see what's written on the bottom of that can. 2024. Okay, you open the action like this right here, and you take the cartridges and stick them down here and push them into the tube magazine. Just like that. And then when you lever it. All right, in conclusion, we have shot this big old 1887 rifle into multiple things. We've velocity tested it. With black powder, it gets about 1,224 feet a second with a 900 grain bullet, and about the same velocity with a 700 grain bullet. With 777, it's getting about 1,400 to 1,445 feet a second with a equivalent to 200 grains of powder. And this right here is really got some power behind it. I mean, it'll produce over 4,100 foot-pounds of energy, and that is a lot. I mean, and with smokeless powder, we got 1,400 feet a second, and that one produced less pressure than the other two loads because it's a really slow burning powder. But obviously, it still kicks pretty good. It's a pretty light rifle. I'm probably going to get one made, but I'm going to get a heavier barrel just to reduce the recoil. And I kind of wonder if you could get an octagon barrel. I think it'd be cool with an octagon barrel on it. Probably have to rework the stock a little bit, but don't you think that would be cool? Anyhow, thanks for watching. God bless each and every one of you. I hope you come back and see me, you hear?